All right. So, how are you feeling? Kind of overwhelmed, huh? I know even when I go through these questions and answers, and I've already listed what I would do myself in these situations. And again, there's no right or wrong. It's who you are and how you would normally react to the situation. I find myself really appreciating each and every single one of the responses, because each and every one of those responses has a merit. Every single one of those responses has a power to it. So don't be afraid of, or don't be worried about, saying which one is right or wrong. There is no right or wrong here. I've set these up so that they each represent different strengths, different power in those responses. So you just need to figure out which one that you gravitate to. Now, I'm telling you this because we're going to get to the hardest one, validate. And if you recall going through the summary of the course, that is the one that I continue to have the hardest problem with. It is very difficult, very complex. It's a small window of opportunity when you've spent all this time to listen, to truly experience what that person is going through, to observe all the non-verbal cues, the message behind the media. And then you get to the validation phase and you just mess it up right there because you say something that's off key, that's not true, that's not authentic, even though it is authentic for you, but it doesn't come across. And it's not allowing them to solidify you in that role so that you can get to the empower phase, which is planting the seed for power for them. This is one of the hardest ones. So let's go through this exercise. And of course, it's aptly entitled The Greatest Gift. All right. So now imagine again, you're conversing with a friend. Could be a family member, someone close to you. It's not an acquaintance. All right. And they're bragging about an achievement they've achieved. Something that they've achieved that's big, like a promotion at work, or they have a new show, or they've overcome this big challenge in their life, like writing an exam and doing very well in it. Something that was emotional for them, that was hard for them to experience, but they overcame it. They did it. And you're both excited by the event. You're actually literally physically and emotionally connected to this. And you are excited with them. You're ecstatic, right? You're both vibrating together, right, in this. And you turn to them, in this moment of elation, this moment where they are like, you're both celebrating this. And you tell them how amazing and how wonderful they are and how incredible they are, right? And they, to your surprise, of course, there's always a surprise, right? They seem disappointed by your response. You're like, what? You could tell. Either they get quiet and like almost like, ooh, what just happened? Or they give you like, the disappointing eyes, like my daughters do quite often actually with me. So it's like, yeah, it's like, and you're like, what just happened? We are celebrating. We're working together on this together, like we're experiencing this together. Yet now they're disappointed. They feel deflated. And just to accentuate that point, they turn away without saying another word. As if what you just said was the worst thing on the planet for them. That the worst thing you could have possibly said, you said it. What do you do? What do you do? It ain't easy. It's not easy. These are not easy circumstances. But then again, truly being there for someone is not easy. I'm not going to pretend to you that it's simple, because it's not. All right. Give them the space. So first one, give them the space and let them figure things out for themselves. They've walked away. They've turned away from the situation. They've focused on something else. All right. Just say they need their space. I was there for them. We celebrated this moment together. I don't know what's going on. We're just going to let them continue on. their process, and they'll come back and we'll talk. All right? Number 2, you reflect on your words and you try to find a different way to express yourself, perhaps being more gentle, more subdued in your response. So you try again. You try again to empower them. You realize they're disappointed for whatever reason you don't quite get, but you try again. You iterate, you pivot, you iterate. Okay? You recall I mentioned in the class about pivoting, iterating. All right? And this time maybe you're more gentle. You're more subdued in your response. Instead of being, hey, you're so wonderful, you talk about some of the strengths that they have and some of the wonderful strengths you see in them, and how you're so proud of, what they've done in this situation to achieve this accomplishment, to overcome these challenges. Number 3, you engage them in a conversation about the accomplishment, right? You say, okay, so I sense that you were disappointed by what I said. What have you been going through? What are you feeling right now about this experience? What are you feeling right now about this accomplishment? How's it sitting with you inside? So rather than just, leave the elephant in the room out of the picture, you call it out. And you call it out in a gentle, loving way. And you start to talk about it with them. You start to address it. You start to figure out with them what is it that they felt, specifically by what you said in the reaction of what you said. Use that as the starting point for that conversation. All right? And these are all good responses. Number 4. I can't count. You give them space to calm down. All right? You give them space to calm down. You let them go. And when they come back, you flood them with compliments. Right? As the Dalai Lama once said with kids, you just flood them with love. You don't even stop. You just flood. You just keep going. You hold your ground. Right? They are amazing. They are fantastic. They're wonderful. You're just going to flood them with it, okay? With the hopes that in flooding them with the love and the how amazing they are, that it's just going to naturally sink in, and their disappointment will turn into elation, right? That was number 4. So again, think about it, reflect on this, and answer what you are connected with the most. Not what you necessarily think is the best, but what you're connected with the most. How would I behave in this situation? All right? Thank you so much for this, and we'll see you at the next exercise. Bye.